Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you a few steps to getting some really good swell tones. Starting first with my guitar, what I'm using is a Xavier JT100. It's a Jazzmaster copy and I have it in the middle position in between the two pickups. So I'll show you what the clean tone sounds like with no compression. That's what it sounds like with no compression. So the first thing that I like to do is have compression in line and on pretty much all the time, especially if you're doing some swells and you want that sustain. Compression is a very key element. So this one I have it set to I have the compression set up to about 2 o'clock. I have the tone up a little bit. These are fairly older strings, so I try to brighten them up a little bit with the pedal. And then the actual level is just, I have it set to my liking to be about an even volume as if it was not on. Just moderate, just so it's not affecting too much even if it was off or on. But it's fairly compressed, you can hear it here. It's pretty hard. And here's soft. So it's just kind of evening out the tone. So you'll see here, if you're just gonna swell in, I'll just do a G. Then I'll turn it off so you can hear the difference. So it kind of puts a signal to be more sustained, a little bit fatter. And this is a key thing. If you want your swells to be really rich and long, this will be a good starting point here. Next thing that I would recommend is to use a delay or multiple delays or 800 delays depending how big you want your swells. So we'll just go here with this DD7, and the effect level is up about half to kind of match the natural tone, and it's set to modulate. So this is a fairly general sort of delay that you could find with other things, and the feedback is set up pretty high, set up to about 2, but that is all to what your taste would be for your delay. If you want it to be a super long swell, put the feedback up a little bit more. You don't want to go too crazy, because the higher up you put it, it may turn into a cycle and start to sound really funky, and you can get some really weird glitching sounding tones whenever you adjust the time. But right now it's set up to a tap, and you can see the light blinking towards what the tempo is. So depending on what song you're on or whatever you're doing, the delay is a good place to start. And you can just tap in whatever tempo you want, and that's just the modulate setting with the swell in. Kind of skipped over the volume pedal, but you could tell if you're doing a swell, it's a volume swell. And what I recommend is using the pedal to swell in, because if you were to use your guitar, you're going to be swelling before the compression, and I like to swell after the compression to make sure that the full tone is what's being swelled, not the fatter tone, that the compressed tone is being swelled, not the guitar tone into the compression, where it has to do a different sort of effect to make it swell better. So next we have is a reverb, and this is going to be a super basic swell tone that you could get with only you could technically get it with one pedal on just your delay if you only had a delay, but this is a little bit of a hybrid version where you have the compression, we'll do a delay and a reverb. So this reverb here is the Hall of Fame. And what I like to do to have the biggest, hugest sounds, if you see any of my other videos, you know I like ambience, so you'll see the biggest sounds I like to get is with the tone print. And that tone print is, sorry about that, that tone print is Big Room with a View. It's one of their stock tone prints that they have. Let me tune again real quick while I'm talking. It's one of their tone prints that they have that you could set up to this pedal. It is probably the biggest one that they had available. That's why I installed it, and I like it a lot. It does have a weird wobble effect, or kind of a tremolo effect, whenever you turn it up the decay too far. but it's all personal preference and it's all subjective. So let's put it to, I like to run the tone up a little bit no matter what guitar I use, and the decay I'll probably put at 50%. And I usually run the effect level pretty high so we can see what this sounds like. Pretty dang big. So if we add that to the delay with the compression on, we'll get something like this. So that's just straightforward strumming. You can hear that reverb's doing it, the delay's doing it. Super huge swell tones, in my opinion. And if you add a couple more delays in, we'll add the DD5 with it. And the volume's off on the guitar, so you can hear what the swell sounds like. So it'll just make the decay a lot longer if you add more delays in series. The way I have these two delays running, one's dotted eighths, one's modulate, and both the tempo is connected to both. So the dotted eighth is going to put a little offbeat delay, and the modulate's going to be on beat. So it's going to actually, they're going to kind of play off each other to make for more sustain. But if you want to do something a little bit different with your swells, you could do just the reverb. Let me turn my volume on my guitar. You can hear a large chunk of the tone is coming from that reverb pedal. I'll show what it sounds like with just delays. Some people don't really like the modulate tone. So let's put it on the analog tone. So what it's doing is kind of chopping off the high end, so this will give you a little bit more of a warm swell sound. Let's see what this sounds like with the reverb. And then something what I like to do is if you have a guitar that has a tremolo arm or something that will allow the strings to move back and forth slightly, like a Strat or a Bigsby, or in this case this Jazzmaster clone has a bar. I think it's a different name for what it's doing. It's not necessarily like a tremolo, but it allows for you to bend the strings a little bit, so you could do something like this. Slightly bending it. And if you do something like that when you swell, it'll give you another effect like this. So you can see that the trick is with the swell is to hit a decent strum and then use the pedal to swell in. Wow. Next thing that I like to add, this is an additional pedal, which is the Octave pedal here. Haven't fixed the light yet. I'm probably gonna pop it open and figure out what's going on with that light. I actually recorded a different video and I forgot to turn the pedal off, so I had to redo it. So here is the Octave. So if you add that with these delays and the reverb, you'll get this. So if these pedals play nice with each other, it'll make for some really good tones. This Octave pedal is set to have the dry signal down slightly, have the low octaves up a little bit, and the higher octaves up a little bit. So let's do a little bit more of an extreme version. Let's add this pedal. You'll hear what this sounds like. So this delay is going to feed into this delay, into this delay. Yes, there's 3 delays if you're into that sort of thing and you want to just fill the entire spectrum of sound with audio. This will probably be your thing right here. Also that if you're going to do a song and you're trying to just fill space on the song, if you change the chords, it may sound weird. So you just want to stay on the root note. What I typically do is stay on the root note. So let's do it again with me staying on the root note. It's going to be in G. So I'm going to play a couple inverted G chords throughout this whole series here. So that typically makes for a well-rounded set of sounds. Let's break this down a little more simple also. If you're going just one delay, let's say you got one delay and a compressor, so we'll just do this analog. You don't have a reverb pedal. This one's kind of fast. Didn't realize it was that fast. So this one's not tappable. There we go. Okay, so here we go. And if you want it to sustain more, you turn that feedback level up. If you want the delays to sound louder, you turn the effect up. So you can get some pretty decent stuff even with the simple setup. Let's go even without the compression, just a delay. So you could essentially do this swell with just your guitar volume. And there you go. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope this helps you in some way. Go experiment with whatever setup you have and have fun with it. So until next time, peace.